No, you can try. No worries. I'm used to Italians. So.
I won't do that. And we're live. Okay, welcome Terra Virtuans to another very exciting and incisive look into the world of Marcel van Luit, who is with us today, and with Ashley. Delighted to welcome you. Your work is extraordinary. I know you have a very interesting story to tell. So welcome Marcel and Ashley.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. So we'll get right into it, and I'm always keen on people learning about what's behind the artist, and you particularly have a very interesting and moving story behind how you became an artist, and if you could share that story, I'm sure everyone would appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Let's start with the part. I'm a contemporary artist, and I started 8 years ago when my oldest son was born. But after half a year, I was paralyzed, diagnosed with Guillain-Barré. It's a disease. I recovered fully, but it took, I think, almost a year. And during this process, they asked me to train my muscle strength in my hands to get it back. And I practiced actually with the photos Ashley sent me, and tried Photoshop and create these dreamy scenarios. And yeah, that was actually the beginning of the whole story.
Fantastic. And had you done anything like that before?
No, I draw when I was a kid, but not photographing or photoshopping. No, it was the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
So it completely transformed what you did, and then you presumably continued to experiment. And may I ask, the paralysis, was it just in your arms, or was it in the rest of you?
Whole body. Only my lungs and my heart were working, and I was completely paralyzed, laying in a bed, and I could hardly move my eyes. Also, right?
Yeah, they even had to close his eyes with tape when he.
Oh my goodness!
Paralyzed.
Yeah.
It happened in only a few days from being active to fully paralyzed.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm so pleased to hear and see you had full recovery, but it must have been. But you didn't know that at the time, presumably. You didn't know. I mean, I was reading about the condition, and it is expected to have a full recovery, but it's not guaranteed. So was that uncertainty?
No, I'm fully recovered, because normally most of the patients who got Guillain-Barré will end up in a wheelchair or have a leg what doesn't work anymore, or an arm. I'm a lucky person, and
fantastic.
More lucky,
I'm so pleased, and of course now the world is happy that this byproduct is this amazing talent has been nurtured and launched into the world. And looking at some of your work, it's very different. And if let's just take a short look at some of your work, and get a feel for the type of art that you do. And I know most of it, from what we're going to be looking at today, is animal focused, but with a bit of a twist. You've put a little bit of your own twist on the work, which we'll talk about in more detail later. But it would be great to see an example on the screen, if that's possible, of your work. And here we go. Animals, pandas. It's just extraordinary. And there you have. I'll just mention this, of course, first, in case I forget later. You actually released a book of a collection of your artwork. Yeah. There we go. Great plug. Well done, Ashley. Great plug. And I was looking through some of the works in that book earlier. Absolutely incredible. I mean, the detail is just wonderful. And I'm looking at it on a computer screen. Obviously, can't get that level of detail from this image right here. But I've seen some larger images, just extraordinary. And when, for instance, when did you start painting these works? Was that in your early stage, or is it more recently?
Well, actually, this artwork is I think the early days. Yeah, maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah, this
But
is
yeah, this is a really old one. I've made a lot of edits and artworks, but yeah, directly from the beginning, I started with the Photoshop, and then I thought, okay, how is it to compose something or to draw the shadows, and how does it work with the color grading and to make warm tones and cool tones? But actually, from the beginning, I got that, I don't know, touch.
The other one,
yeah.
the other one that you saw, the lion with the blue and the orange, that's some more recent work.
That's more
recent. So you actually taught yourself Photoshop at the same time as teaching yourself to paint, I guess, and you use Photoshop as your palette. And is that still the case, or have you moved to different utilities or graphics tablets or anything?
Yeah, I have my tablet, my iPad, and that's first I make a composition, and on the iPad I'm going to draw all the effects, and that's actually the whole process, and then I bring it back to Photoshop again, and it's a whole blur of all kinds of programs.
It's amazing, and the colors are just, I mean, it's so vibrant. I've noticed in all of the works I've seen, you do like using some bright, vibrant colors, but legitimately, I mean, there's another example as well. That's just extraordinary. And there's a puffin there, isn't there? I love the way you transplant the eye from the puffin.
Correct.
It's just beautiful. Do you, and excuse my ignorance for asking, do you start with a photograph as a base and to layer on top of that, or is this literally from a blank canvas?
Well, actually, it always starts from a dark canvas, and most of my work starts from out of the dark, and I'm just going create something and feel free to create and paint and see what kind of elements. I'm not that kind of artist that has a sketch or has a plan or whatever. No, just go and we will see
where it takes you.
Where it ends, and my imagination will bring it. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So in a painting like this, for instance, would you start with the tunnel, or would you start with the deer, the antelope, or the child?
Well, actually, it's my son. So this is an whole other process. I first photographed him, and then created the whole space and world around it.
That's wonderful. That's great. And people love hearing about the creative process and the inspiration behind. I mean, as I said earlier, a lot of your works are animal based, and of course with your children as well, which is an obvious inspiration. But why animals? I mean, obviously you love nature, but is that deliberate to bring nature into the frame with your children?
Yeah, I think we're close connected to animals, and I love the vulnerable side from animals also, and it's a wonderful combination to combine.
It really is.
Beauty and this connection they have.
I think you got touched by them also. If you look at an animal, you really, for you, it really reflects, to use animal to reflect emotions, because in every artwork that you see an animal, it's always it's the animal that brings the emotion.
Yes, it's very true.
I love to work with animals so much because your work is all about emotions.
Yeah,
and they inspire you because you just adore animals, of course.
Yeah, and I'm always looking for some kind of emotion in the eye, or how do you say it?
In the expression.
In the expression of the animal,
Yeah, I know, and it shows. I mean, this is extraordinary. The expression on this giraffe, just extraordinary. And I think animals have a great connection with children as well. Children just automatically graduate towards them, and connect emotionally on all sorts of levels. I mean, as someone's commented here, your work is incredible and beautiful, and I can't argue with that. So very, very detailed as well. And I love the expressions on the animals' faces that you're showing. So you've recently explored the world of NFTs, and how did you sort of identify that and come into that world?
Well, yeah, I did, of course, a lot of shows in the physical world and was very busy over there. And at the beginning of this year, I had a lot of questions of people who following me and asked me, okay, when are you going to do something with NFTs? And we didn't know anything.
We were like, what are NFTs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really the start. Like, we were like, what is this? Because everyone kept asking us and wanted to do something with NFTs, and we had no clue what it was.
No. And then I Googled it, and then a big door slammed open, and it was going so really fast with everything that was happening in this NFT space. And then we said to each other, okay, first, calm down. Let's find out how does it work. Soak up all the information we could find, and we
really get a good team around us. We really get a team around us because we're really passionate about art, and we really have a good strategy in what we do there. But we have no clue about this whole new technology. We try to learn. We're still learning every day.
Yeah, and we want to do it thoughtful because we're now doing it very exclusive in the physical world. So also in this NFT space, we want to. When we do it good, it have to be exclusive and very thoughtful.
Of course, and limited. I mean, the Paris Hilton image, the painting you did here, that's displayed at the moment, was that commissioned as an NFT, or was it commissioned first of all? And if so, was it an NFT?
It's a commissioned artwork, and we printed it very big, so no NFT. It's hanging in our hallway actually at this moment.
Wow. How big is it?
Wow. I think it was 150 centimeters by 2 meters almost, or 190.
I think a little bigger maybe.
Well, no, maybe bigger. Okay.
And she's obviously a big fan of the work that you did.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we connected through Instagram, and she saw a work of mine, and then she asked to do a commissioned art piece. So
that's fantastic. That's a heavyweight fan you have there. That's great. And of course, that helps the recognition and for people to discover your work when you have a major influencer like that on your side. That certainly doesn't harm. So what was your first NFT piece?
We did a small drop, but actually this is going to be my first NFT. Yeah.
Deliberate. Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that for a minute, because we spoke earlier, and you said that this collection is a result of COVID indirectly. You, like everyone else, you've been confined and isolated, and you came up with this concept. Would you like to elaborate a little further on the theme of this collection?
Yeah, I've made the flower series at the beginning of the COVID period. It was in March 2020, and spring was coming, and I felt a little bit insecure, and everybody was not in the mood, a good mood, of course. We're all in the lockdown, and I felt I had to comfort myself with a warm artwork, something that symbolizes hope. And that's my first piece was the giraffe, and after that, when all the people saw it, I had to come up with a whole series. So I also made this lion, and after that the elephant. So that's the start of
He actually made it for himself first, because we were all scared, because we were in the lockdown and what was going to happen in the world, and it was all a very scary situation.
Uncertain, yes.
Yeah.
So in the first place, I think you really made it for yourself, just to calm yourself and to spread hope and to give people hope. And then then when we found out how people reacted to it, and it really calmed down people, and people were like, oh, we needed this. This is exactly what we wanted to feel, that everything, everything is, the world was on fire, but Marcel wanted to tell that spring will eventually come, and the flowers will bloom again, and
it will getting warmer.
It will get warmer, yeah. And that I think it worked very well with the flowers blooming on a giraffe, and yeah, I think
that's a lovely metaphor. I love that.
To the world to show hope that we just hold on. Spring will come, and flowers will bloom again, like they do every year. It really calmed us down, and yeah, we were very lucky that it calmed down a lot of people when you released it.
That's lovely. That genuinely is a great sentiment. I mean, I've noticed that flowers feature a lot in your work generally, anyway. But I've seen these works, and we'll start showing them in a moment. But you've really emphasised that level. I mean, everything, the animals, the flowers, and even the people in your art, it's all a reflection of nature, isn't it? And it's all how nature brings all of these different and disparate creatures and elements together.
Yeah, and it symbolizes the love and the affection. So yeah, absolutely.
That's lovely. I mean, and here, for instance, the parrot with the lion. I mean, something you wouldn't necessarily see in the wild, but it's a lovely way of conveying how nature coexists. So let's take a look into the gallery now, into our virtual gallery, and check out what we're talking about today specifically. So here we go. This isn't it. I think we're just juggling a few technical issues. Hey, at least it shows we're live here.
Yeah.
Now this is great. So here we go into the Terra Virtua gallery. And we'll start with the lion. And if you'd like to, and obviously, as you said, this is the flower collection, and everyone can see why it's called that. And just, if you could, Marcel, just explain a little bit about how you chose this image and what you wanted to convey with this particular piece.
Yeah, well, actually, the first piece I've made was the giraffe, and after that, I was looking for a more stronger animal. So I choose the lion, and actually it is a strong animal, but he's also vulnerable because of the flowers. I wanted to be vulnerable, and that what you see is not afraid to show that side of him, and to sit back in the grass and overthink everything, and
he's more than just this giant animal that's powerful and very strong, and I think you really in particular like that people can be very strong, but it's more powerful if you also allow yourself to show your more
vulnerability. Yes. So the flowers portray the vulnerability. It's lovely. The flowers portray the vulnerability of the lion. I get it.
Yeah, it's a contrast between the giant animal and the softness that the flowers bring.
Yes, that makes sense. And then this is the one you started it all with the giraffe, which is probably my favorite. And again, you have the vulnerable giraffe anyway, but the flowers just accentuate the beauty of the animal and the grace of the animal. I mean, you've captured that just perfectly.
Thank you. That's great to hear. Yeah. And he's you see the movement in his legs. He's walking away from a bad period, and he's going to the spring will come. So let's follow this animal, and
I'd follow that giraffe anywhere. It is. It's just extraordinary. I mean, the movement in it and just everything. It all works, and beautifully framed as well. The next one, if I'm using my crib sheet, is a slightly bigger animal. So we go to the elephant.
This is so cool.
This is great. This is just wonderful. So you've got the the parent, I don't know whether it's a mother or father, and the baby elephant as well.
Yeah,
That's
because
just-
the last one, it symbolizes the whole family and friends thing. We all had this little bubble during this COVID period when we had to connect with your family, and it was a small circle, of course, but yeah, you were looking for some warmth, and this symbolizes it, I think, very
Perfectly,
Yeah.
perfectly. And was there any meaning behind the particular flowers you chose to portray with the animals? I mean, there's some flowers here I recognize, and you've got some hummingbirds there as well. But was there anything behind the actual flowers, or was it more of a color issue that you felt that those colors contrasted the best?
Yeah, it's, I think, always a thing with the colors, and you're searching for a particular colors that will match with it. But it also had to warm you up, but also give you this happy feeling. And I think this combination works very good with the background and the everything.
sunflowers.
Yeah, and the sunflowers. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just beautiful. And those are hummingbirds, are they?
Yeah, and it's actually something that we do here at the home as well. If we're if we're in a bad mood, or we need some happiness in our lives, then we just get up to the table, just a very big bouquet of sunflowers, and everyone will come in and just
Smile.
smile. Yeah, so it really works. And I think that's the feeling that you also want to express, that it was all about family and the warmth that and the smiles that are always there, because your family, even if there's a crisis like the COVID crisis, you can always go to your family and just be safe and warm.
And this very much portrays that. I think it's commendable that, you know, in a gloomy time, and there's a lot of artwork that sort of accentuates that gloominess and depression and darkness. And here we have someone who is using their talent to lighten the mood and spread a little bit of joy and happiness. And that's quite rare these days, when everyone's so just fixated with the bad stuff that's happening. It's really refreshing and uplifting. That's great. You're making a great contribution there. So we'll move on to the next one now. Not an animal, but we have a human in this next one, and this is a collaboration with your colleague Scott, and I think Scott may be here. Hey, there's Scott.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Hi, Scott. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. How are you?
Good. Where are you based?
I'm actually in LA. I'm from New York, but I'm living in Los Angeles the last few years.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. But you're awake. You've been caffeinated, I hope.
I'm awake.
It's not too early.
I got the notification. Marcel and I spoke. 8 a.m. I'm up at 6 a.m. anyway, so here we go.
Okay, great. Glad you're awake. So we're just, I don't know how much of this you've seen, but we're just about to talk about this amazing piece of artwork, which is obviously Keanu Reeves on, is it Reeve or Reeves? I always get
Reeves.
Reeves.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Keanu Reeves.
Possible to zoom in a little to see the details, or?
Can we zoom in a little bit more, Jen? Yeah, well, I think this is pre-filmed, so unfortunately, but maybe we can go full screen. And Scott, would you like to describe your contribution? Because I know this is a collaboration between yourself and Marcel.
Yeah, Marcel and I met a few years ago. I've always been a huge fan of what he does. I'm a musician initially for many years. I'm a drummer, and I got into shooting pictures some years ago, as well as having an agency representing talent. So I guess a little bit of a Renaissance guy, and was really fortunate to shoot Keanu for one of the Vogues about 6 years ago, I think it is now. It was a great photo shoot. I shot him and Alexandra, who he actually dates now, an artist that he collaborated with. And so amazing photo shoot, one of the highlights of my photography career. And Marcel and I were chatting, and we decided to try our hand at collaborating on a few photos, and this was one of them. And so Marcel can tell you a little bit about the detail. The picture was actually shot initially in downtown LA. It if you look at it, it looks like
Really?
this is Rome, I think, or somewhere like that. Marcel, where do you envision this being? It's definitely not downtown LA, but
Not LA, no.
well,
Wow.
that's
Oh,
where it was
sorry.
shot. But
Yeah.
with the magic of Marcel and I collaborating, Marcel put his spin on the picture, and like I said, it definitely looks like he's in a Tuscan, you know, the streets of Tuscany or something like that. And the flower
Yeah.
and all the details that Marcel added to the photo were incredible. Super excited about the collaboration. As I said, I've been a huge fan of Marcel's. I think this is the first of many to come. I've shot a lot of great musicians over the years, and for Vogue to many other magazines, Spanish Vogue to different publications, as well as just working with a lot of celebrities. And so I have a great archive of a lot of pictures I've shot. So yeah, I think this, as Marcel and I are, you know, speaking, this NFT drop, this is hopefully the first one of many to come. I'm really happy and excited to be part of this flower collaboration, and I'm excited for what the future holds, because I'm sure there'll be a lot more coming up.
Absolutely. And
I
this
hope
is
so.
yeah, and there's coming more, Scott. These coming days.
Yes.
Definitely,
This-
definitely.
This is only
Fantastic.
yeah.
Has Keanu seen this himself?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you shoot celebrities and then they're off, you know, and then
Yeah.
you may run into them again. You may never run into them again. Some of the people that I've shot over the years, I'm very close with and have very close relationships with. Him and I just did the shoot, and that was it. So I can't really say. But it's also featuring his motorcycle company. He's a huge motorcycle enthusiast, and I believe that the bike that he was riding this photo was one of his own. So it makes it even more personal, because I know that he was really into sort of putting out there in the world his bike line that he has. So
Wow. So
Well,
you'll sell a flower line, a flower
Yeah.
motorbike, maybe.
Yeah.
A motorcycle.
Exactly.
we all know Keanu from The Matrix and John Wick, and he's a really tough guy when how we see him on the movies. But when I search for information about him and his bio and everything, you find out that he's a very kind and humble man, and that's the main reason I also want to picture him as a
In a more
Yeah.
soft.
more soft way.
Yeah, and so the flowers obviously soften the image a little bit and bring a whole new dimension, particularly to the photo. And the photo is just perfect as well. The combination is great and makes something that's very, very unique, which again is what NFTs are all about, I guess. So this is great. I've just got to give a quick shout out. We do have a competition running, and you can win a copy of the Elephant NFT from the Flower series. So just check it out on our Terra Virtua Art Twitter feed. End of plug. Sorry about that. Got to get it in. So this is great, Scott. And have you got another specific? Can we get a sneak peek of a specific photo you have in mind that maybe you could collaborate on next? You don't have to show the photo, just who it might feature.
I could say, I mean, Marcel and I have definitely toyed around with a few other ideas, so I think we do have some stuff in the pipeline. But I'll leave a little bit of that for him to talk about, or maybe not. The mystery of what's to come, right? But there's definitely more in the pipeline coming up for sure.
I'm sure there is. I just wanted to tease it a little bit.
Yeah. Marcel can probably speak better to that than I can. But we definitely have played with a few ideas coming up.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I can't say not that much.
I was hoping to draw out a little exclusive info there, but that's okay. I understand. That's okay. Reveal it to the world when you're ready. Don't be pressured into it. That's fantastic. And you're staying in touch now. I mean, this collaboration started with this particular photo, and obviously you're going to stay in contact and see what else comes about with
no question. I mean, I think there have been some beautiful moments that have come out of this terrible time, obviously, just learning to adjust and pivot, and there's a little bit of good in this world that's come out of this. It's stuff like this that we've collaborated on this beautiful series, and he's done an incredible job with the animal. Actually, I'm sorry to be honest with you, I didn't know your whole story about the paralysis and everything as well as I know you. I didn't even know that. So it makes it even more special when you hear the story about how this came about. And it's incredible, and I'm super happy to call you a friend and a collaborator. And yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for what's to come, and I think this is just the beginning of the NFT, launch that we're doing. So I think there'll be a lot more that you'll see from us. So we definitely keep in touch quite a lot.
That's lovely, Scott. Thanks for that. That's terrific. Can I just clarify? Was it because of the COVID thing that you met? Was that a sort of, otherwise you would have been too busy or whatever, or were you meeting up anyway?
No, it was. We've met in 2019, I guess, in the summer in LA, and it was before the COVID. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's great.
But then you're sitting around and you're thinking about ways to be creative and inspire people and get out of this dark time period and do stuff like Marcel said, to inspire people and bring a little bit of light to the darkness. And obviously the flowers are a great idea, because everyone, who doesn't love flowers and who doesn't respond to animals and flowers, right? I mean, animals are one of the things that make me most happy in life. I'm a huge animal enthusiast. I mean, I love my dog like no one's business. He's my best friend, and he's the greatest. So I for one, really, I think the animal theme is incredible. So, but I think, we can go in many different directions with this collaboration. So I think you'll see more to come for sure. But we met, and then obviously we started to collaborate, and this sort of just probably expedited the process a little bit, especially in the NFT space, which we both found out about in the last, whatever, maybe, what was it, Marcel? The last 4 months, we were like feverishly texting each other and coming up with something, because
in the beginning,
this was new to the whole world, unless you were deep in this space early on, which a lot of people I know just got into it within the last 5-6 months. So.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful, and long may it continue. It's just fantastic. Do you think, just one final question for you, Scott, do you think that having done this particular collaboration, the Keanu, and it's turned out so well, that you'll now be perhaps framing certain shots with the thought in the back of your mind, this could be a really good Marcel piece of work, or will it come afterwards when you're going through your work and saying, yes, let's talk about this one?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think just the ability to animate pictures and have them come to life, I mean, it's something we didn't think about as much before, but especially now with multimedia and social media the way it is, it's something that definitely has to come to mind. So yeah, I mean, I definitely have been revisiting the catalog of pictures I shot and thinking about new ways. And when we're talking, it's something that comes up a lot. It's like, which pictures can come to life? So even things like the headlight in the motorcycle, the fact that's things that can be animated are really special.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, really can't wait to see what you both come up with next, and I'll be looking out for your work anyway, Scott. Now I've been introduced to what you do. That's fantastic, and check it out on our virtual gallery when you get a chance, and see it brought to life. Scott, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's
great
early in the day. Really,
I've been up for hours. Don't worry about it.
That's all right. Thanks.
All right, guys.
We'll see you again, I hope.
Thank you.
All the very best.
Bye.
Thank you. That's a great story, Marcel. That's great, and it's nice to actually not just collaborate, but obviously you've formed a friendship from that, and to make new friends through your work, I think is just a huge bonus, particularly in these times, and spreading a little bit of the joy with other people. It's great. It really is. So now we'll come on to the final piece, and after which maybe we'll throw open to a few questions from the viewers. So the final piece is quite special, and probably caught Jen unawares on this one. She's trying to cue it up, I guess. But here we go. There we go. A blank canvas, and I will just let it speak for itself for a moment. Go. And can we get a little bit of audio as well?
Yeah, that's very important in this one, and it is a collab. Maybe we have to bring John first.
Okay, well, yeah, let's bring in John Eubank. Hi, John.
How are you, Gary?
Nice Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Very good.
I was going to the picture was going to be the virtual drum roll for your introduction.
Exactly.
We didn't get the music, so
I like to get those. I like to get those at home, but I'm very used to not getting them. So
no, I detect an English accent.
My dad's English, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. And where are you based?
Laren, which is 20 minutes outside of Amsterdam.
Oh, fine. So you're virtual neighbours then. That's you're in the
We are,
same time
in Holland,
zone.
everyone's neighbours, yeah.
Yes, of course. So welcome anyway. You're obviously friends of Marcel. You've collaborated on this particular piece. Have you collaborated before in anything, or is this the first time you've worked together?
No, it's the first time. I saw Marcel hanging on the wall of a friend of mine, not literally, of course, but his work. And I thought to call him because I was doing a big live project with an artist over here. And I was going to ask him to create some content for the stage. And we started speaking, and we were about to commence on something, and then COVID hit. But we kept in contact, and then we thought, well, maybe it's a good idea to combine sound with his pictures. And he said, oh, I'm thinking of doing more of a small motion picture. And well, then he sent me the giraffe, and I was like, oh, crap. And I decided, sorry, excuse my French.
Go on, John.
Let it speak to me. And much as what you would do with when you write a song is just I started playing, looking at the picture, and it was the first thing that came out. It was literally like 5 minutes, and I sent it to Marcel later that day, and it worked for some reason. And then
let's just take a quick look and listen to this if we can.
Yeah.
Absolutely extraordinary. That's fantastic. I'm sorry about the cutting out of the music, but that's technology
exactly,
for you.
The audio is a bit better in real life, yeah.
I'm sure it is. Yes, I'm sure it is. But the combination of the two, I mean, you get enough emotion from the painting we saw before of the giraffe with the flowers. That's emotional enough. Then you bring animation into it. Then you bring audio, music into it. And it's a totally different experience, and just a sensory overload in a way, in a good way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we wanted to portray something to emphasize the hopefulness of the giraffe, obviously, as you were speaking about with earlier on, and that's what we went for. There's also words to it that we don't yet unveil, but we started talking about it being part of a bigger project, like you would have like the 7 sins that we all know about human nature. There's also a lot of virtues about human nature, and this is something we wanted to focus on for this series to come. And we like to think in concepts. So as Ashley and Marcel and I were talking about things, a bigger world started developing, a bigger idea with layers behind it started developing, and we thought, well, this is going to be great. So we will be revealing more of these pieces, but they in itself will be part of a door to a bigger picture, actually.
Like a visual symphony.
You could say that, yeah, visual, but yeah, it has layers also psychologically, and yeah, we can't say a hell of a lot about it, but it requires a bit of trust of the people investing into these pieces, that they are in fact investing into something more than just the actual piece.
Yeah,
and
it's part of a bigger.
At the end, people will know. Yeah, that's what they meant.
Out of a bigger picture, yeah. I mean, we spoke about the grace of a giraffe, and I think it's one of the most graceful animals on the planet. And now here you've captured that and sort of, as I say, accentuated it with the flowers, the animation, and of course the music, and it just takes it to a whole different level. It's just a beautiful work. So this is, as you say, John, this is the start of a much larger plan. And do you have a timeline for this plan? I'm not pressuring, just asking. Do you have a timeline for it? The project itself, is it a year long? Or is it just open-ended?
It's not particularly open-ended, but I think we'll be giving ourselves also some time to really create it well. We have a timeline, but if we say what the timeline is and we drop the second piece, then it'd be very easy to tell how many pieces there are going to be, and we want to keep it a bit of a secret.
Okay, no, fair enough. And will it all feature animals or different animals? Or, I mean, I don't want you to. Obviously, we're teasing and we don't want to give much away, but
it will be a mix.
It will be a mix. Okay,
different animals and teams.
And will the flower theme continue through it, or is that going to be changed as well? Do you know, or you haven't decided? Okay, I don't want to pressure you into anything or to reveal anything you don't want to. But it's out of genuine interest rather than nosiness. But that's fine. We'll wait and see. It'll be worth looking forward to. And do you know when the next part will be, or is that again fluid, approximately? Just giving people something to look forward to. All right. I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm just trying to get the information.
I would say the coming months.
Okay, that's fair. That's good. That's good. As long as people don't have to wait too long, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest in this now that this has been revealed to the world. So, and speaking of which, we have 20 minutes before the actual live launch of your work, the flower collection on the site. So, and 10 minutes left to enter the competition. I've been prompted. John, it's a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing the next stage of this wonderful collaboration. I'm intrigued personally to see what's going to come next. So I'll be watching. I bet. I'll be watching with interest. That's great. Thank you so much.
You too, guys.
So I think what we can do now is perhaps open up for a few questions from. Oh, there we go. See, it's like telepathy from people who are watching, and which is the Well, we did cover this earlier. In other words, what program do you use? Photoshop. But for the video, for the animation, the question is, what applications, programs did you use for the video, for the animation of the giraffe?
I can't reveal too much, but
Oh,
it's also After Effects and Adobe programs. So
it's really animated one. So we have there are many different software and programs used, to be honest.
Combination. Okay, that's good. That's good. And you're a fan of the Adobe library then, because they do have an extraordinary catalog. Yeah, but I find them quite complicated. I mean, it takes you a long time if you've never used them before, and no one likes reading instruction manuals. So it takes.
I had time at the moment.
He was in the hospital. He was just laying in bed, and he had time to really get into this.
I'm not the patient normally, but yeah,
you had no choice.
It was either learning how to work with all of these programs, or I just once been with him to a class. He needed to go to classes to get him through the day. It was just, and also train the muscles. And we went to what was it again? Was it painting or
just painting?
Wood, something that you needed to create something out of wood. And we were there, and there were only old people, and that's not a problem, of course. But we were there, and we were very young.
It was a little bit boring.
Yeah, it was a strange situation, because we were there in a hospital room with all other patients that are needing to find themselves a hobby to get through the day, and we couldn't stop laughing because we were so uncomfortable with this whole strange situation that we were in. Because a year earlier we were just going out and having fun and doing all these things that you would do when, except you normally don't end up in a hospital room with the two of you when you just had a child together and trying to find yourself a new hobby. So I think the Photoshop, the thing that the learning how to work with these programs, what normally is very much time consuming, and also if you have a job, you don't have time for it, and don't
Time.
care for it.
Yeah.
But I think also that's what you started with Photoshop, but then during the whole your whole developments, there were many other programs involved, and you do a lot of digital drawing. He actually draws on a tablet, and
I hop from program to
Yeah.
program, actually.
Right. Have you
Yeah.
ever used Blender? A lot of my friends use Blender, an application. Probably getting into too much tech detail here, but it's a good program. And here's a question from Jen. What advice do you have for artists who are just starting out? I mean, your art career has been relatively short. I mean, you started relatively, a short time ago. What is your advice to anyone who really wants to make a go of it?
Yeah, just do what you love and just have fun, I think, and practice, because I have so many hours in practicing this whole thing. I think that's the main tip.
but it's
Did
also
you have any? Sorry, Ashley.
Yeah, it's also, I think we talk about this a lot because it's also a difference, but there's so many people, also creative people, and they really want to make a career out of what they do, but they don't really dare to make the step into really go for it, because a lot of people start to doing their art besides their day-to-day job. And then you did as well, because we started and we just gave up our jobs and dived full in it, and we just
Fully
risked
committed.
Yeah, and we
you have
just
to take
did it,
risks,
and
yeah.
instead of just dreaming about it. And if you really have talent and people really recognize that you're making beautiful art, then just go for it, and not just dream or think about it or talk about it. You just have to do it. Just go to an art gallery, just show your work, and don't be afraid to make an online community, or just show your work to the world, and then it will get you somewhere. But
I completely agree, and
Yeah.
and that's not just for artists. It's for anything in life. If you believe in something so passionately, then you go for it. Because otherwise, if you don't, you spend the rest of your life regretting and wondering, what if?
Yeah.
So you go for it, and
Yeah.
absolutely, I buy into that.
And we had the same goal from the beginning, because we said to each other, okay, my art needs big pieces. We have to print it big and frame it very beautiful and museum quality pieces. So that was our goal from the beginning. And we said to each other,
we just made it work. We just did it.
Yeah.
I think it sounds very easy, but it's not, because a lot of people but also just a part of doing it, because that sounds easy, but it's, if you really go for it, and you just quit your job and just all your time you spend it on making art and trying to market it and sell it and get your connections going, because that's a lot of get well connected to the scene that you want to work in. It sounds easy as we tell it right now, but it's really, you just really have to do it instead of talk about it, dream it. Right?
You got to throw yourself into it. You got to believe in yourself first and foremost. You have to. I completely agree. Here we've got another from the community. You've used a lot of wildlife. Do you have plans to use more domesticated animals in the future, cats and dogs, I guess? Or are you going to stay with the wild, the out in the wild?
Actually, I don't know. I tried some cat artworks in the past, but it doesn't work, I guess. No,
well,
I'm not a cat lover.
A lot of people really loved it, but I think it doesn't spoke to you as much as
No,
the wildlife
I think
animals.
You like
more-
the primal feel of the wildlife, yeah?
there's a mystery behind it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I will try it again.
Okay, try the cat. Try. Just don't do dogs playing poker. Don't do that.
Okay, got it.
Okay, we have a very leading question here. What made you choose Terra Virtua? I guess it meant for your NFT release.
Yeah, well, actually, we wait till what I told before for the right moment to dive in this whole NFT experience, and then we saw this. We saw Terra, you guys, and the whole experience with the exhibition and the virtual reality, and I thought, okay, this is something that connects really good with what I do at the moment in the physical space and all the shows I did. So yeah, it was actually
I think there's
a
there
big
it's
plus
much,
for me.
yeah, it's much easier for an artist to present your way as an NFT in a space like this, because it's a little bit similar. Of course, we're not there standing in the gallery, but the concept is the
absolutely.
same. And I think that really spoke to you,
Yeah.
and because otherwise it just kept on feeling like just a flat
More
website.
abstract. Yeah.
Yes, and it's
And how cool is it that the exhibition is now live? It is open, and people can just tune in whenever they want. So tomorrow it's open, and
Yeah, they can browse the Marcel gallery and look at all your work.
and I
as
can
if they're
style
there.
it at my own. So that's pretty awesome.
It is nice. One last question, but we've got the winner picking lined up. So one last question, I guess. Sorry if I missed this. The Giraffe, lions, etc. Have you visited many African countries for safaris and for inspiration?
No,
Just watch TV.
Absolutely no. Yeah, I have some photos of friendly photographers who shot a lot of giraffes and lions, and I also recreate lions and make another lion from other photos. So, but this is a goal, and I want to visit Africa when everything is getting normal. I would love to do a safari or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be amazing. And you'll have to take your laptop with you and your graphics tablet and just sit there in the lodge.
Yeah, and go
drawing, painting. Be wonderful. Okay, we've got the winner for the contest. I'm not sure how we're going to do this, but maybe the name is going to come up on the screen, or I should have been better prepared here. I apologize. But the winner of the here we go. The elephant. Here we go. Drum roll. I can't read that. It's too small. My eyes are gone. It's on microfilm. No, still can't read it, but here we go. Oh, great. Okay. Yevgeny Pokutnil. Right. Thank you. That's a tough name, but I'm sure Yevgeny Pokutnil. Okay. So thank you. It would have been easier if it had been John Smith, but Yevgeny, you deserve the win. And this is your prize. You're a really, really lucky guy or girl. You've won this extraordinary NFT painting, and I think you'll be the envy of everyone. The envy of me. I'm very, very jealous. So congratulations, Yevgeny, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. But well done, really well done. So I think we're just about there. We're 5 minutes away from the big launch, and I think we should part on the positive notes that you've tried to create within your works successfully, may I add. And I'd like to leave this on a happy note and a positive note, because all of your works, I mean, do you intend going in the same direction and staying with that positivity? Because not all artists do that, as we said before. Or are you going to explore some of the darker realms that many artists do? or are you going to stay on that positive track?
I stay on the positive track, but I will come up with some other concepts in the future for sure. Yeah.
No, I think after what you've been through, that positive outlook is inspiring and should inspire others. And obviously, when they look at your work, that should deliver the appropriate emotions that you want to. So one person is particularly happy here is Yevgeny, happier than I am at my pronunciation. So let's take a final look at the animation and the music accompaniment to give us an idea of the extraordinary work that you've done, Marcel.
Thank you.
Get the audio? Can we get the audio on this, do you think? I think we've got to retry, just rewind and get it back again. Because it's a whole complete piece. You've got the painting, you've got animation and the audio. Was there? Technical problems, don't you love them? That's the problem with a live stream.
Live stream, I think.
Wonderful. That's just the best way to end it.
This is the end, but the beginning of more.
Start. We can't wait to see what comes next.
Yeah.
Marcel, Ashley, thank you so much for sharing all your thoughts with us. I'm sure everyone got a great insight from that. It's really, really appreciated. Thanks to Jen in the back room for putting all this together. I know there must have been some panicking moments, but you carried it off brilliantly. Thank you so much. And
for having us here.
Everybody for watching. Thank you.
Our pleasure. And we look forward to seeing what's next. Please check out terravirtua.io, where Marcel's work is on sale and launched probably now. But we'll play out with the animation.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll play out with the animation. Thank you so much for joining us. Please check out Marcel's work. It really is extraordinary. And check out his work on his own website as well. He's got this beautiful art book with a collection of his pieces. Just check him out. It's extraordinary. Thank you. Have a lovely day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.